This story I call Father and Son Fun with Fireworks. When I was a teenager, my father thought it would be exciting to explode a large illegal firework together. How fun is that? My father was a Gary Cooper man, meaning strong and silent, and he was a bit of a libertarian. My mother's family was generally all in the San Diego area, and we would visit a couple of times a year. Whenever we would go down there, my father found a way to generally take a day trip to get across to Tijuana. And in Tijuana, you could buy anything, including legal and illegal fireworks. The largest fireworks available at the time were called M80s, which were considered so dangerous that in the mid 60s they were deemed illegal in the US. So we brought a couple of M80s home, of course. M80s were discerningly small. They were about an inch and a half long and just a little bit over a half an inch in diameter. We were skeptical that the rumors which had M80s having the power of about a quarter of a stick of dynamite, we were pretty skeptical until we blew one off on our front lawn. It made a huge bang, and so we thought, well, maybe the rumors were not wrong. At one point, my father came to me with an idea. He said, let's test and see just how strong M80 firecrackers are. He, in construction, had these 5-gallon heavy duty metal buckets that he carried tools and nails and such to job sites. And his idea was we would put an M80 on our back patio and then cover it with an empty one of these heavy duty metal buckets. And his thought was that an M80 might just be strong enough to lift the bucket up in the air a few feet. That way we could gauge how strong it was. So we did that. My job was to light the fuse. So we picked a spot out in the open on our back patio, put the M80 down. I lit the fuse. My dad put the heavy metal bucket over the top, and we ran back 20 feet or so to the house, underneath the back porch, covered back porch area, and then waited to see what was going to happen. I was prepared to be disappointed because these buckets were really strong, and the firecracker, in comparison, seemed kind of puny. Suddenly there was this really loud explosion, and the bucket completely disappeared. We were both shocked, and a couple of seconds later, down comes this flat piece of metal, sheet metal, crashing to the patio on the far side of the patio. And a couple of seconds after that, down came this round metal disc with a clang, landing approximately where the bucket had been, where the explosion was. So we venture out, and when it seems like nothing else was going to happen, we venture out, and my dad kind of looks at the two different pieces of metal, and he concludes that what happened was the explosion was so powerful it ripped open the seam holding the bucket together, the sides of the bucket, just flattening out the metal that had been round, sending it up and then luckily away from the house, and it landed at the back side of the patio. But the explosion also blew out the round inside piece, the bottom of the bucket, and sending it straight up into the air, and then who knows how high, and then straight back down again, generally landing where the explosion had been. This explosion was so much bigger than I had expected. I was taken off guard. I was shocked. It was really a big deal. And so we went around. Finally, we collected the ruined pieces of my dad's bucket and threw them away. And then my dad turns to me with that look that I thought I was going to then get a life lesson. And all I hear from him is, "Let's not tell mom." Thank you very much.